Hi, it's Patricia Simoneau, Grassroots Marketing and Brand Design and host of the Planting the Seeds of Ideas Telesummit. This is our 10-minute video review of the day's events and the calls, and it was Money Day on the Telesummit. Money, money, money. Gotta love it. We started the day with Shelley Strite, the Cash Creator Coach, and midday we had Kim Duke, the Sales Diva, and we finished the day with Debbie Lechusa, the Business Stylist. We'll start with Shelley. It was so nice to have Shelley on the call because when it comes to money, we have a tendency to get a little stressed. Shelley's, even her tone of voice, was very reassuring, very comforting. It's okay. So it was nice to have that soothing voice and to help soothe our rattled nerves when it comes to money. An important thing that came out of the call was that we need to remember that money is simply a tool. It's just a thing. It's something that we learn to use in order to keep our business functioning, running, and growing. So if you think of it as just a tool and you take the emotional attachment out of it, then it takes the stress off and it takes all of that anxiety away. The other thing that she talked about a lot was having courage. Have courage to say no and claim your power over money. Mostly she knows again. Sit with your decision. We talked about this in an earlier call as well, that you need to sit with some decisions, let it settle with you. Don't feel pressured to make decisions that don't feel comfortable for you. There's also gems in your books that you're probably not even aware of, and I don't think she could stress it enough. Do your books, do your books, do your books, and guess what I'm doing for the year end? We're going to get caught up on our books. And the limiting beliefs around money, that's what's creating the problem. It's not the money itself, it's our beliefs and our behaviors around money. So this was a really good call, and it was reassuring, and I think I tweeted at one point, isn't it nice that we can have a discussion about money and laugh? Because so often money is associated with a lot of other emotions and emotional reactions other than laughing. Great call with Shelley today. Definitely have a listen to the replay link. Next up was Kim Duke. I loved how she started out when she talked about keeping out of the bright shiny object syndrome. She says, have a big ass filter. I love Kim because she just cuts to the chase. I like her, just get right in there. The thing that Kim taught me years ago and she brought up on the call today is that selling is helping. If you're not selling, then you're not making yourself available to help the people that are looking for your help. Yes, you have to knock on a few extra doors or have some conversations that don't work out, but sooner or later you find that tribe, those people that are actually looking for you and the services that you have to offer. So selling is an obligation. Like, you owe it to us to sell and make yourself known so that we know where to find you. Fear is the number one thing that holds us back, especially when it comes to selling. But if you have a plan, and you're dedicated and you're honest with yourself, don't delude yourself. You can do it. Don't fool yourself with, oh, someday, or kind of cover up the problems from Shelley's call. Don't cover up the problems in your books. If you're having money problems, you're having business problems. Deal with them. As I say, referring back to Shelley's call, but get the book straightened out, and then you can see where the problems are, and then you can move forward. But with Kim's call, this was a really, really good point. She said, if you're having a dry spell in your business, it's because you stopped doing something 90 days before that. Kim's magic formula is always the 90-day formula. So you have to be continually, and I love the fact that she worked in the analogy of planting seeds, because this is the Planting Seeds of Ideas Telesummit. Thank you for that, Kim. But you have to be continually planting seeds with your prospective customers. and your current customers. Constantly be putting things out there, planting the seeds, giving them things to think about and consider as they're going about their own business. Continually plant seeds so that you can continually be harvesting throughout the year. As she says, she's a farm girl from Saskatchewan, so everything relates back to farming and gardening for her. But it's true. You can't reap the harvest if you don't sow the seeds. So if you experience a dry spell, and we've all had them, it's because you stopped. I'm a bit of a science nerd. I love Big Bang Theory. But when she started talking about that, I thought of Newton's first law of physics, is a body in motion tends to stay in motion, and a body at rest tends to remain at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. So if you're in motion, it's a lot easier to keep that motion going. If you're at a stop, it's harder to get back up and running again. I watch kids play hockey. I've been watching hockey for 8 years now, and it's always a learning thing with kids when they're learning to play hockey, especially defensemen. They're standing on the blue line and they're just standing there, and the forward is coming towards them with the puck, and all of a sudden they have to, it's like a train, they have to kind of get up to speed, and by that time the forward's blown past them, they're gone. So it is a learning process, but keep the momentum going. And remember too that selling isn't constantly, dropping things on people and bombarding them with information and selling in the terms of sending them annoying emails on a daily basis or calling them 3 times a week. It sounds like a needy personality disorder kind of relationship that way. You're following up with them, but you're adding value as you're doing so. So, you may have a new product or service, but first warm up to the relationship, warm up to them in terms of bringing value to the table first, and selling just kind of flows into the process. It was a great call. We've finished up the day with Debbie Lechusa, and yeah, I could have made this a 2-hour call with Debbie because branding is a buzzword right now, and there's tons of tactics out there, but when you choose something that works for you and fits with your brand, when you're clear on your brand, it makes everything so much easier. Branding is simply knowing who you are and what you stand for, period. That's it. It's not a fancy logo, it's not fancy graphics, it's not, and this is coming from a graphic designer, okay? I'm not trying to put myself out of work here. But when I'm working with people on their branding, I'm trying to get them working past that. It's one thing if you come in with an idea, a concept of, what you think you might want your logo to look like, but I'm trying to get you to dig a little deeper, like, what is it that you stand for? What are you doing? What are you providing? Who's your audience? And then we drill down on that. So please understand that a brand is not a logo. Okay, that makes 2,369 times I've said that in the last 5 years. A brand is not a logo. So when you're focused on your brand and you have a high quality brand, you have a lot more flexibility with pricing. So a really good, clear brand gives you a lot of that flexibility. If you're kind of like vanilla, like everybody else in your industry, when all of the things are equal, people will choose on price. And if you're struggling with people trying to get you down on price or talk about price, you're either talking to the wrong people, or they don't see the difference between you and the 68 other people that they've talked to about the service that you offer. So that means you need to clarify your brand, get really clear on your brand, because then the people that are ideal for you find you and love you, and they're willing to pay that little bit extra for the exact service that they're getting from you. Test, assess, refine. It's a constant process. We're constantly developing this work. So I could go on. I love this topic, but I'm limited to 10 minutes here. We need to move on. But I want to remind you that the last call tomorrow is at 11 a.m. Mountain. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. Mountain time is 7 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time. So if that helps people around the world figure out when the call is. Last call tomorrow is me, and I'll be talking about marketing. So I look forward to seeing you on the call tomorrow, and I hope that you've been getting as much out of this telesummit as I have, because there's been something for everyone on this call, no matter what your concerns and ideas may be. So I look forward to seeing you on the call tomorrow. Have a great evening.